On this episode, why do you think that math is just made up and invented and the rules don't apply to you?
This real estate stuff is not easy, so send me your questions and I will answer them. This is the Ask Jason Show.
Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey, and this is actually it's supposed to be 135, but we gotta do 134 again because Joe lost it. He lost. That's why there was no episode. That's why there's no episode right now for you to see, because he lost 134. So this is episode 134, again, of the Ask Jason Show. I'm gonna make this one short and sweet. We get on here and I do like all of this talking, and there's like funny, kind of gimmicky kind of stuff, and there's like little silly pictures, and I make fun of Director Joe, and all of it is meant to get enough attention for you to watch long enough for me to say something that's actually really, really valuable to you and important to you. I don't do like facts and figures all that often. There's not a whole lot of like pie charts and bar graphs, and like there's not a lot of that stuff, and which is funny because as I say these things I can see Director Joe going, yeah, because he's gonna put up pie charts and bar graphs. That's exactly what's gonna happen right there, and I know anyway. But they're always calculated, and I know why I'm saying what I'm saying. Well, you're gonna put up a calculator, aren't you? It's like he's there giggling as I say these things. But they're always calculated, and there's always a reason why I put them the way that I do. This time, I'm just gonna outright say a thing based on recent market data and also anecdotal data, things that I've witnessed myself. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, we are seeing more and more expired listings, more and more price reductions, and more houses going back on the market that were under contract. A lot more of them. And then also, we're seeing realtors advertise to the real estate population, the other agents, that they're offering bonuses if you sell a house. Like, buy my house at 123 Main Street. If there is actually currently a listing at 123 Main Street, that's a coincidence. I think it's pretty obvious I didn't mean actually that. However, there will be a listing later today at 116 Main Street in Normanscove by the Ask team. Mr. Stephen Coombs will put it up. That's a good house. But they'll send something out and they'll say, hey, sell 123 Main Street and close it before Christmas, and there's a $5,000 bonus on top of the offered commission that's already out there. Agents do that. We've been doing it for a long time. When I used to do the now defunct Skymark Homes, when I did their sales and marketing management for a while, if we sensed a shift in the market, we'd get on top of it and we'd be like, here's a $5,000 bonus on any of these houses if you can get an offer in by whatever time. And it works. It works. People will put more effort in, which, I mean, I guess it's human nature, but really you should be guiding your clients to what they want to buy, not necessarily what you get paid for. But that's a whole nother story that I'm yet to decide or understand whether or not I'm allowed to talk about, because but to me, it's sort of clear in some ways. Like, if you're searching for a new job and you make widgets in a widget factory, and this widget factory will pay you more money to do the same job as this widget factory, you're probably gonna want to work for this widget factory more than that widget factory if all other things were created equal, which is almost never the case. But anyway, the point of all of this is, these are indicators of our market responding to the external stimuli that are going on that affect real estate prices. And there's a bunch of those things. There's a lot of them. There's seasonality. There's the fact that our government is spending a bunch of money here locally and nobody seems to know where that money's coming from. Interest rates are high. Inflation isn't down as much as it should be yet. So cost of living is still high, but all of these things together will over time cool the prices of everything. Even if you go to buy a new car now, you're not getting 0% interest. Even those 0% interest finance over 7 years, even they're up to like 3% or 2 or 4 or whatever. That's gonna put downward pressure on things by affecting supply and demand. The supply stays the same, but it affects demand because people's buying power is lowered, which means the target pool of people that can spend X $1,000 is lower because buying power is lower. It's just there's lesser sample size. So that brings pricing down. That makes houses fail to sell, so they expire. It makes people have to do price reductions, and it makes agents have to offer bonuses. Now, those bonuses, by the way, if you're a seller and I have your property listed and I want to offer a $5,000, $2,500 bonus to get people like Director Joe to bring their buyers there, you're still paying me the contracted percentage that we've done up, and I've sold houses between 3 and 12%. So typically it's 5 or 6, but there's a lot of variabilities depending on what needs to be done. But say we've got a contract for 5%. Joe's getting 2.5 of it for bringing the buyer in, and I want you to offer him a $5,000 bonus on top of the 2.5% to bring in a buyer. I can do that, or I can reduce your price by 10 grand. Do you see how there's 5 grand more in it for you in one than there is in the other, and it creates more demand and more activity? Anyway, the point of all of this is these things are happening. And we did an episode a little while ago on how people chase the market when prices are increasing and they're trying to buy. You gotta buy faster when prices are going up because you wanna get in before they go high, and you gotta pay the top tier price. All of this graph here, it goes like this, always, but it goes on this angle. So it goes like this, right? When you're buying something and prices are increasing, you want to get in fast. If you're selling something and prices are decreasing, what do? You want to sell fast. So, as much as it pains me to say it, all of the data, all of the strategy, everything around needing to get out of your house before Christmas or whatever suggests that if you are in a property that there is competition for. So if you're in a 1,200 square foot split entry with a garage in any subdivision all over the city, and there's a dozen or more houses just like it in your neighborhood, then you have competition. If you used to be 350,000 and now you're trying to sell for 350, and there's 5 more and you all want 350, the first person that takes 340 sets the bar. And then the next person needs to fight for 340. And then one of them will take 335 or 333, and that sets the bar. Now the next person is gonna try their best to get 330. Do you want to be the person that takes 340 off the top and chases that down? Or watches everybody try to keep up with them? Or do you want to be the one that holds out because you think that you're special and the rules don't apply to you, and that math is just made up and it's not a thing, and that you can just wait until everybody else gets 325, but you're still worth 350? I'm not saying that you have to drop your price drastically. What I'm saying is, if you are in competition to sell your house because the market has other things that compete with you, you need more than ever to be the most attractive price. Because if you aren't, somebody else will be. And as soon as that other one sells for less, now you have to. Because there's no data to suggest you're worth what you thought you were worth anymore. Be the one that takes the first deal and let everybody else suffer. That's it. Cut your losses. Done. Now, this is for houses that are like other houses. If you have a house that's not like anything else, and there's a hole in the market that your house fits in, and it solves a supply issue, then you won't have demand problems. So this applies to your house if there are other houses like yours. But if you're on 1.1 acres and you've got almost 3,700 square feet and you got a big detached garage and another shed, and you're up in like a well-organized community in the east end of St. John's, and you're beautiful inside, and there's schools across the street everywhere, and you just happen to be just listed by the Ask team, you can fetch a good dollar for your house because nobody has anything like that. But if it's just like everything else, you be the one to sell first, because if you're not gonna like the result. And that is that. Did I keep it under 10 minutes, Joe? Yeah? Good job. All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. And hopefully you'll have a deal on your house. Just don't be a dick about it. Just don't. Just take it. Go, take it. What's another $5,000 over the course of the rest of your life? And if you need that $5,000 to have enough down payment to put on the next place, you can't afford the next place. Sorry. All right, love you. Bye.
The Ask Jason Show exists so that you can get good real estate related information from a resource that you can trust. Now, speaking of resources you can trust, here's a couple I would trust to work with my mom. Because good enough for mom, I mean, good enough for you.